Okay, well, it's the beginning of another school year. Got some new laws, got some new requirements, got some new rights that the legislature has given to parents. And since those rights sort of go against schools compelling students to do a bunch of STAR test prep, what's happening? What's happening out there? We're not even at the school year starting in a lot of places, and we already see it. School districts are overtly refusing to follow the law. They are overtly telling parents they can't do what the legislature has explicitly said parents can do. They've forgotten that 2 years ago the legislature said you cannot remove kids from electives in order to give them accelerated instruction. No, we're just going to put it in writing. Oh, hey, we're going to take your kid out of your third elective and stick them in accelerated instruction. Oh, hey, if we think that the value of the instruction is more than the value of the elective, because, we're the school, we get to decide that, not you, the parent. God forbid you decide what's best for your kid. If we decide that the test prep's more important than the elective, we're going to pull them out of the elective. Guys, all of this is happening at the local level by local decision. This is not the TEA saying to the schools, you have to do this. The TEA actually will back the parent up on each and every one of these issues, removal from electives and your right to refuse the accelerated instruction. TEA will absolutely back you up, but the districts won't do it. Districts cannot fathom the idea that parents have rights that supersede the desires of the district. Notice I said supersede the desires, not the rights, because governmental entities do not have rights. That is basic law, okay? You're going to hear people talk about the rights of the school. Schools have no rights. They have certain obligations, they have certain duties, but they have no rights. Parents have rights. Parents have specific rights that the legislature had to give them explicitly because the schools were ignoring the rights they had previously given them. So they broadened the rights, made it bigger, made it more expansive than it previously was. And how do the schools react? How would a logical actor react when the legislature has come in and said, hey, parents have a right to remove their kids from this type of instruction upon notice. No standard, no arbitrary, we get to say yes or no because we're the school. It is, you can elect to remove your child. That is your election. So how would a logical actor respond to that? Would they say, okay, legislators said we can do this, guess we better do this? Or would they say, well, we think it would be better if we made you do this extra step before we let you exercise that right. Step isn't in the statute anywhere. Or maybe you would say, oh yeah, see, even though we told the state and the federal government that you participated in the assessment, even though you got a score sheet that says you participated and you got a score, we're going to decide you didn't really try hard enough, and so you don't get to do what the legislature says you get to do. These are the levels of illogic, the levels of confrontation, the levels of disrespect for parents, and worse, disregard for the law. The actions these districts are taking every time they say to a parent, you cannot remove your child from accelerated instruction, or we will remove your child from elective to give them accelerated instruction. That is an utter disregard for the law. If you or I did that, and it were a law that had an enforcement mechanism involving fines or jails, we'd be fined or in jail because we're expected to follow the law that the legislature puts upon us. But if you're a school district, oh my goodness, those laws are just optional. You don't have to follow them at all if you don't want to. I'm telling you right now, parents, you are going to find out about your district. We've been in a year-long litigation with Venus ISD over their refusal to follow the 26.010 opt-out that the TA has said for a year exists. We've gone all the way up to the point where the administrative law judge has told the commissioner the parent wins, they get to opt out, please sign this, this order. And the commissioner told the State Board of Education, parent gets to decide, parent gets to opt out. But Venus ISD decided we want to fight the parent. And they couched it as if, well, we just need to make sure we can really do this because the TA guidance isn't clear. Well, then the TA's own administrative law judge says parent wins. So Venus ISD could have said, okay, parent wins, we'll follow what the TA says. Nope, still objecting to the decision. I wouldn't even be surprised if they appeal it to the district court after the commissioner rules against them, because they're that committed to fighting parents. And now we've got another new law, a more explicit and a broader opt-out right. The old opt-out right gave parents the right to remove their kids from accelerated instruction if they had a moral or religious objection to it, okay? That was sort of a standard you had to meet. Now, that's gone. It's just, if you don't want your kid doing it, you can remove them from the accelerated instruction. And already the districts are saying no. On what basis? On what basis? The TA even sent, the TA, and I will both give them credit and I will give them a little bit of chastisement. The TA put out a frequently asked questions guide for the districts to say, if the student has a failed STAR assessment, they were assessed, didn't meet the standard, then parent can opt out on notice. If they don't have that, then you have to give them a beginning of the year screener first. Now, I'm not sure that's actually law. Frankly, I haven't dug into it that much because I think that's, number one, it's more the exception than the rule. Most of our parents refuse and take the S. And the TA has said if a parent tells you they're refusing, you can give them an S even if they don't show up. I just haven't looked at it because, frankly, parents that don't just take the S are kind of going against our advice anyway, which is do the in-person refusal, put a cost on the school because then maybe they'll actually, be engaged in trying to fight against STAR. But regardless, the TA has said, if you have this, failed assessment, you opt out on notice. And districts are saying no. Districts are saying, no, we want you to take a screener anyway. Or they're just, denying that right exists. It's insanity. You or I couldn't get away with that. So what do you do as a parent? Number one, you got to be on the lookout for it. You're going to find out where your district stands by how they react to this. If they don't follow the explicit opt-out right the statute's given to you, that the legislature's given to you, you need to fight them from day one. You need to do things like pull your kid out of class for that entire accelerated instruction period. Don't let your kid sit through that. Because if you do, the district wins because they're going to drag out your grievance until the point where your kid has completed the hour, in which case maybe they'll give you the grievance or maybe they'll keep fighting you, who knows. But you also need to file a grievance immediately. Don't give them 3 weeks to fix it. As soon as they say, no, you can't, you file a grievance that says, yes, I can, follow the law. And take it all the way up through the school board. Take it to the TEA. Write letters to your school board trustees and say, why is your administration not following the law? Why is this district committed to fighting against parents instead of working with them? Copy the commissioner. Copy the student assessment division because, I am no fan of Mike Morath. I will never be confused for a fan of Mike Morath. I am a little bit of a fan of Julie Cole, I'll tell you that. But these people, Mike Morath and Julie Cole at the Texas Education Agency, have been consistent in their support of parents' rights on accelerated instruction. And Ms. Cole has told districts that, even where parents are exercising opt-out on STAR, which the TA doesn't agree with and they're never going to agree with, and I get that. We think they're wrong, they think they're right. Even there, Ms. Cole has been clear to the district saying, look, the agency does not expect you to fight your parents. Document it. The parents said they're not going to take it, fine. You don't have to put it in front of them. Document. You don't have to fight your parents. That's a mature and logical way to exist. In fact, if, for 10 years we'd had this attitude, maybe parents wouldn't be so up in arms about how STAR operates. But on accelerated instruction, Mike Morath is on your side, parents, in terms of your right to opt out. So I give credit where credit's due. Disagree with that guy about almost everything on what standardized assessment means and how it should be used and so on and so forth. If it proves anything, we know it doesn't. But on the issue of parental rights and accelerated instruction, the guy has been 100% on the parent's side. And districts still don't listen. All of which is to say, do not start telling me this is all because of the TA. It's not. This is because of your local district. And you need to fight it there. Run against the people who are controlling the school board that let this go on. Publish letters. Post on Facebook pages. Post in local groups. If the school will not respect the right that the legislature gave you, there is a problem. Our schools are not above the law. Parents are the final word on whether their kids participate in accelerated instruction. Not a principal, not someone who thinks they know better for your kid. But where this fight is happening, guys, it is happening at the local level. It is not because the state is requiring a damn thing. Because the state has said to the schools, parents have the right to say no to this. And if your local school will not respect that right, that's a local problem. And local people need to lose their jobs. They need to lose their elections. They need to get out of public education until they realize that as parents, we are the ultimate decision makers of what is best for our child. And if we say we will not participate in this instruction, and the legislature says parents can say we're not going to participate in this instruction, then the school has no discretion to do anything but to grant the notice of the parent and take that child out of that accelerated instruction. And they can't pull them from electives, and they can't punish them, and they can't punish you. They cannot like it, but they have to follow the law. And what we are seeing in these first few weeks is districts that are committed to breaking the law. And that has to end. But that doesn't end if all you do is complain about it in my group. You got to take it further. You got to fight it face to face. You've got to stand up. I help you where you can, but you have to. There's too many districts going on. I can't be everywhere. You have to stand up and put an end to it. Get your friends together, Post in the group, what's going on, and would everyone agree to, send an email on it to, these 5 people. It just has to stop. Legislature has given you a specific right, a broader right than you had a year ago, and districts still want to fight it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Because the TA has been saying for a year plus, parents, you can opt out. It's not hard. So I hope everyone has an easy time. We are getting some stories of some districts that are being good. I don't want to overstate my disgust. But honestly, after this new law, even one district refusing to follow it is too many And we're already into double digits on the number of districts that are threatening to either take electives or refuse the parental opt-out. And that has to stop. And the only way it stops is through you. So keep following. We're going to have some more videos. We're going to have some more instructional information. But please post to Texans Take Action Against STAR whenever you see a violation of the law. Okay? We gotta do something. Okay? All right, guys. Y'all have a great day. Thanks.